Well, something happened yesterday that I didn't expect and didn't want to happen, of course. You can see the bottom of this tree, the house, my septic system, and the ladders. If you pay attention to where the ladders are, you'll see that the house fell squarely on one, and then it made a real interesting angle out of this one that's on the house there. This ladder used to be about 20 feet long. It was leaning against the house when this tree fell. And of course you see what happened to it. So that ladder now is going to be half of what it used to be. That wasn't something I expected. And as we move further, this is my septic here. And this piece of tin here covers the entrance of the septic tank because I wanted to keep it open so I can get into it, maintain it, and all that. And as you can see all the way over there on the other side of the house, that is the top of the tree. So this tree is about maybe 50-60 feet tall. Fortunately, it didn't tear up too much of the house. That's not something I wanted to happen either. Right there at the top of the gutters, right there you can see where it's dented by one of the limbs, and all the way over there's another piece over there that's dented, and I guess that's probably a good enough excuse to change that gutter there because I needed to rearrange it anyway, so I guess I have to do it now. So what I've done thus far last night is I've cut the tree 1, 2, 3 different times, and I put these little pieces there so that I could cut it completely. I think it's cut completely. It's such a big tree. I don't know, but I'm going to have to get it off of here because the first thing I have to do is get this piece here and there off of my septic system so I can open it up, make sure everything is not damaged and it's still working properly. That was something I never ever wanted to have to do, is open it up to make sure it was still actually working. I was thinking about having to open it up maybe if it was full and I needed to empty it or something. And another thing that happened is when this tree fell, I guess maybe there was a snake hiding underneath there, because after the tree fell I heard something moving around or maybe trying to get out. So I think it's crushed. I don't know if it's still alive. I'll have to figure that out when I am able to get this tree off of the septic system. So that all happened yesterday, and wasn't very happy about it because that tree actually was supposed to fall over this way. That's the way I cut it, but something happened. But I think I just cut it wrong at the bottom to put my little slit into it, or whatever you call those things. So it is down. So I have to deal with the consequences, of course, and make everything right and go from there. So yesterday, these are all the trees I cut down here to clear out this area to put in my storage shed to get some of the things out of the house so I can actually work. So all of these trees over here is what I cut. Now behind us, let me turn around, are these 3 trees here and this last tree that's close to the house. Now this is the tree that I've been afraid of trying to cut on my own for eons. And if you can see at the top, you can see where the tree is and where the top of the house is. The weight of the tree looks like it's actually going towards the house. So I'm going to need to try and pull it away from the house. Right now, I'm not feeling very confident, especially since that tree I cut yesterday is all in the wrong direction. It wasn't supposed to be that close to the house. So that's something that I have to deal with when I get ready to cut this thing. Hopefully tomorrow. I was going to try and get set up to cut that today, but I got to do a couple other things because it's about to start raining at some point. These pieces right here are the covers I had over the gutter to keep some of the trash and everything out. So this is something I have to cut here also, because this was a major, these have to be cut up and I have to do something with them. So I hope to build a storage place for them so that they'll be out of the weather and all that. So this is the top of that tree. It's starting to rain a little bit right now, so I don't think I'll get to do too much out here. But that's where we are. And hopefully before it rains today, I have to take this filter off right here on my water container here, because when I got here, there was water in it. There's not supposed to be water in it. It's supposed to come down from the downspout into here, filter through the gravel and the sand, and then into the tote. And I do that because all of these trees here are always shedding leaves. And although I went up to the top of the house, when I got here, swept all the leaves off, I looked at it yesterday and there was just almost as many leaves there again as I swept up the first day when I got here. So that's something else I have to deal with. So there you are, a lot of work in progress, and hey, it is what you have to deal with in the country, doing things that you don't normally do and not being an expert at it. But thus far, I haven't knocked down the house. It would be a little interesting if I did, because it took me about 5 years to get to where I am now. If I pulled out that chainsaw and one of these trees hit it, that would be like knocking down the house in about a minute or two, when it took me 5 years to get to this point. And that wouldn't be good. So I have to pay special attention to this tree right here and also those trees over there. And I want those to fall away from the house like the other one's supposed to. Everything went well except that one last night. So, you know, sometimes we just got to take a L and work it out the next day. So that's what's going to happen once I get going again. I'm going to try and work this thing out so that I can get all these trees cut. And the reason I really want to cut them is that I don't want them that close to the house, because if there's a bad storm or something, they could technically fall on the house, and that's not something I want to happen. There are trees over here, also like right in here, right there, where I have to cut those down too, because I don't know if you're able to see it, but that one is leaning towards the house. So I'm going to have to figure out how I can take that one down, because I don't have anything, another tree close to it to tie it on to pull it in another direction. So that's going to take a little maneuvering or something. Over here where my wood pile is, I started cutting trees here to clear this out a little bit more. So I have to get all this stuff up here. So just cutting trees and bucking them, it just takes a long time, and there's a whole lot more little trees out here I need to cut to clear things out so that things are not growing wild as they usually are. So hey, what can I say? This is just one of those things that you have to do, and working here, living so far away, it's just some things that are going to take some time. So that's where we are. And this little tree right here, I was cutting that a couple days ago, and you may have seen where on the previous video, it actually hit the back of the truck. So it wasn't really any harm done. It's such a small tree, and it had the lighter ends at the end of it, so it wasn't very much damage. So I got lucky on that one too. It may be a trend. Maybe trees just aren't my thing. Maybe I should just let them live and do what they do. of course, after I get things situated around here the way I like them. Some of these trees here will probably have to go too, because I do need to let in a little bit more sun so that my solar panels will charge my batteries at a sufficient rate during the day, because a lot of times I get a lot of sunshine, but it doesn't get all through, or the sun doesn't get through all of the trees so that my batteries will charge properly. So that's what we have. I'm going to end this video and get back to work and see what I can get done before the rain starts.